기도 먼저 하고 시작. Dear God, thank you for bringing me here, keeping me sober day by day. And please let us all walk in your path. Thank you. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. My name is Edward. I'm an addict. I believe my addiction began before I even took the first hit. As a child, I was hooked on playing video games and imagining entire toy worlds. A goal I couldn't get enough. I was looking for escape. I didn't want to do well in school like the other kids in class. I wasn't motivated by the same rewards. I wanted to fill a hole inside of me that couldn't be filled. I would used to play games for 3-4 hours at a time, or more. I would ditch school so I could play computer games. My parents would know exactly where I would be. I remember one day I was playing at an internet cafe and a call came from my parents. They were worried that I had ditched school again. Seeing my obsession with the internet and games, I went to a video game addict meeting with my parents. At the age of 12, that was my first 12-step experience. In childhood, I felt like the odd kid out. I had acquaintances, but I did not make real friends. I wasn't a loner, but I felt like one. I grew up in an emotionally charged household. My parents were adjusting to immigrant life. I was a handful to take care of. So my parents, who didn't know what to do, would implode and try to discipline me. My mom especially had a difficult time raising me. They were worried that I cared more about playing than studying. I didn't want to do things like the other kids wanted to do, like play. Instead of playing at recess, I would read a book in the library. Even in class, I wouldn't pay attention to the lecture. I read books to get away from life. As I entered high school, I needed to find some kind of exhaust valve. This was a perfect setup for my first hit. I found weed. My friend from SAT preparatory school introduced me to the substance. It was a rainy day and my friend convinced me to smoke weed with him. I was firmly against drugs, but decided that it was okay because it was just weed. It would be okay to take that first puff. It was just once after all. After that first hit, I was hooked. I love the feeling of being high. It felt like I was flying on a cloud off in a different world. Everything slowed down and the world seemed to make sense. I love that feeling. I went to a whole other dimension. I felt the comfort that I had sought after. This was only the beginning. I would be high nearly every day for the next 7 years. My life slowly fell apart. To support my drug habit, I sold cannabis snacks to my friends. I lost a lot of friends this way. My brownies weren't that effective. I was just selling enough to support my weed habit, which at this point became a daily necessity to function. Of course, they weren't as potent as advertised, so I lost most of my friends. I needed the money to support my habit. I would cook marijuana cookies while my parents were at work. They would leave me alone for the rest of the day after school because they were busy themselves. During this time, I slacked off in school and ditched whenever I felt like it. When I went to college, I was going to party hard. When I was deciding schools, I thought as long as I'm in California, I'll have access to the best weed on the planet. I went to a party school in the Central California coast. My objective of going to school was so I could meet girls and continue to smoke weed. It was also close enough for me to come to LA every so often. Without the parental supervision, I could smoke as much as I wanted. I would black out, get drunk. At school, I focused on how I could party as much as possible. My third year of school, I only took classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I could party all I wanted on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. I spent all of my money on either drugs or alcohol. There is this one instance when I went to class too high. I had taken a hit from a gravity ball, ate 2 brownies, and smoked a joint. I was so high, and I had to make it to class. Arriving just in time for a lesson, I luckily managed to step out of class to projectile vomit in the nearest bathroom. My favorite way of smoking was rolling weed into joints. Also, on a regular basis, I would smoke blunts. I had a circle of friends with whom I smoked with. We went to parties together and would smoke weed always. Predictably, everything began to fall apart. I couldn't maintain relationships with friends. I almost got a girl pregnant. I was just a complete whirlwind throughout the lives of my friends and family. All I cared about was getting high. I didn't care who I was damaging or tearing apart just so that I could smoke. I didn't care where I was, as long as I had weed, I was okay. I even got a medical marijuana card to prove that I was sick, so I could smoke medically. I tried to medicate as a remedy for my soul ache. I was sick in the soul. Towards my 4th year, I began to lose my mind. I am diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I had delusions that I was going to lead a revolution against the social hierarchy of America, and I would show people by example. At a certain point, I thought I was receiving visions from God, and that I was going to lead people to safety once the nuclear apocalypse had happened. I dropped out of school when I had just 3 classes left to graduate. I stayed at school because I could get financial aid. I'd have to work, nor did I have to go to class at all for the last quarter. I took advantage of the financial aid to live and to do drugs at my university. A year or so after college, I had gotten and lost a job. I ran into more complications. I emptied my bank account to practice exercising demons. In my delusions, I thought that God was sending me to Korea, and He would magically fill my bank account with $10,000. I continued to use. I even went to my school and caused a ruckus with the university police. I was charged with a misdemeanor and had to spend a night in county jail. My mind went to crazy places. I thought that the devil was chasing after me. At first, I thought that the voices were really Jesus and that He was instructing me. My parents had noticed me acting strangely, so they wanted me to go to the hospital. But I wouldn't go to the hospital, saying that the only medicine I needed was marijuana. As a last resort, they decided to call the police on me. The police took me away and sent me to a mental health unit. I slowly began to realize that it wasn't normal to have voices in my head. I went into the psych unit twice before I realized I had a problem. I was addicted and I had a mental health condition. After I got diagnosed with a psychiatric condition, I wasn't allowed back at my parents' house. Because I lost my job in my apartment, I ended up at the house at Thanksgiving. This was a new bottom for me. I learned what camaraderie was and learned that to stay sober, keep going to meetings. I spent a total of 6 months at HOT until I couldn't stand it any longer and pleaded with my parents to allow me back home. I was allowed back on the condition that I work at the store while I spend time with them. I go to activities with other people who have mental health diagnoses. I have met a good psychiatrist who can prescribe the right medications. Over the past year, I've stabilized my condition and live a normal life. From everything that has happened to me, I have learned that money, women, nor power is going to make me happy. Maybe God took away all those things from me to show me who to really rely on when the going gets tough. Having loving parents who put up with all this so far is invaluable. Nothing in this life is going to make me happy, but relying on God alone, I'm slowly getting better at letting things go and let God. I hope He has a plan for me to use me in some mighty way. Recovery is an inside job. Recovery has been a rough road for me. Now I go to school, I attend classes at Santa Monica College. I'm getting back to where I was. I work hard and try not to complain about my continuing problems. But I know that if I use again, I'll have to slide all the way back down and end up at the house again. I want to build a successful life by going to college and finishing my degree. It will take more than a year to go back to school. I want to have a new life that is drug-free. I want to follow in the will of God, even though that isn't always clear to me all the time. The relationship with my parents has slowly healed. And I'm looking to become a contributing member of society. Going to Gilgal is a blessing. And having all the House of Thanksgiving people, James Hyun, Steve Hyun, Simon Hyun, Tom Hyun, Sean Hyun, Young Hee Hyun, Richard Hyun, and Dr. Hong guide me, has been critical to my recovery. I'm grateful to have their support.